left off from yesterday. Let's play the game here and see what we can do. I think it's gonna be something related to the grid and probably like start zooming on the cards, maybe do some movement, card movement. Off stream, I did add some extra songs to the game, so you can have a bit more variety just as the background music. Okay, so here one of the main problems that we didn't fix yesterday was like the grid. It starts and we're just doing it from left to right. So, but from understanding, the 3D has the pivot that like everything is in the center. So either we move the node 3D, like, or at least the grid later after we populate, or we just populate with the offset to the negative side, which I think it makes more sense. So we just treat everything as centered, and then we just do the adjustments here because, like, for example, the stats are also using the grid. We're also positioning stuff here, assuming this grid on the left. And probably, I think we should work on the zoom, but I have no idea what. No, okay, I'm lying. I have some ideas for what I want to do. So one option is to have the arena always in the center, but then we can rotate the camera around. I don't know if that does us any good, because then the numbers would be upside down, the cards would be upside down as well. I think it makes more sense to show something like the environmental effects by just using different cameras, more like a more cinematic approach, right? So the meteor is falling, like the camera looks at the meteor and shows it hitting the arena. You don't need to rely on the player to be zooming in and out to see what's going on. Like if it's something that you need to pay attention, I think the camera should look at it and show that to the player. So yeah, let's just fix the grid first, because I think it's probably gonna be the easiest one. The thing is, like, we don't know how much we need to offset, because basically we need to populate the cards first to know how big it's gonna take, and then move halfway to the left. I mean, we can calculate, because like we know the width and the spacing beforehand. So one way to do it, I think, let's say we can do a total width, and we do the same for height. So this is gonna be our width times our columns plus spacing. Plus columns minus 1 times spacing, right? And here it should be basically exactly the same, but so height times rows plus rows minus 1 times spacing. So now that we know, we just, so the offset, so var x offset, just gonna be the total width divided by 2. And the same here for x y offset. And in this case, I think we just do a minus here already, right? And then we can add. So here in the x, we just do a x offset plus this, and here y offset plus this other part. Actually, this is the z. Maybe I should rename this to z. And what is this spacing z? Actually, what was the hotkey to format the document? Right there. Control Alt L. Okay. So, I mean, unless I'm doing anything super wrong, I think this should work already. So let's play again, see how it goes. I mean, I don't expect it to be fully aligned yet, because again, like we were kind of putting negative numbers before. Yeah, but okay, I think this worked. Because here in our, actually let me move these cards back here. Card on the, I shouldn't even care about the card background here. Here on the stage, yeah, we're doing this like minus, and this shouldn't be needed. And I think on the battlefield, did we align in any way? No, but I don't know. Maybe it's gonna be even. Okay, maybe the camera is on the other side. We'll see. But I think that's just gonna make it worse. But let's see. Actually, didn't do that much. Ah, I think now we need to check the pivot, the center, right? So here, this is our battlefield. It's the background. It's all zero out. Actually, the grid is also on the zero. Okay, maybe let's try to adjust the stats here, because like it's probably gonna be easier to see, because like you just need to align the stats with the cards. The arena, there is more things going on with the battlefields and camera and everything. So here in our card 3D, our stats. Why is it only taking? Yeah, so our stat grid, let's put it in the middle. And a bit up here. And I think the Y is, the offset is actually positive, right? No, it should always be negative, like makes, even if the Y is inverted, like we just want to offset for the opposite of the direction that we're going. The thing is, so what if there's only one roll? In this case, like I don't want it to. Like, do we want to offset if there's only one roll? I guess, right? We're just offsetting by half of that. It does make sense. But then the stats, so it should. Yeah, the grid should be zeroed out in this one. I don't understand why is this 1-0? Oh, no, okay, yeah. So, and with the card, okay, now that makes sense. So we probably want, so just half of the stat size. So it's 0.2. So we want, our card is 2.6. So want here should be not the grid. Here the stats should be 1.3. Yeah, why is it not at the end of the card? Because like the card is 2.6. Why is, because like if I do 1.3, I would expect this should be at the very end of the card here. Oh, no, it's 2.6, 3.6, so it's 1.8, right? But I mean, that would still not. Let me check again. Here, so the background, let's just follow this background. It's 2 by 3. So, okay, yeah, 1.5. 1.5. So this should be a 1.5 exactly. And yeah, it probably is just a matter of perspective. And then we minus 0.2, so this should be a 1.3. And ideally should have a 0.2 on both sides, right? Let's run this. I mean, it looks fine. It just looks as say like it's too up. But that's so, like, I don't understand how the stat aligned perfectly here on the horizontal, but then the cards did not align on the horizontal here. Is this just the camera being some crazy perspective? Like, I don't think so. Like, if we zoom in here, so here the arena is at 0. This is just mildly up. Actually, no, it is still, it's also at 0. And if we go inside, the grid also 0. So like, it's not like the cards are floating like crazy and we're seeing some weird perspective. But like the way, like normally this diagonal here, it's almost, this really feels like the offset being off. Maybe some of the math with the spacing, because the spacing on the stats is 0, and then this is gonna be 0. Here spacing 0. Maybe did I override the defaults here? Let's check. So spacing 0.1. Let's try the offset positive. Like, I don't think it makes sense, but the the way that the cards are positioned, it's kind of implying that. Ah, no, okay, I think it's probably, no, it's gonna be wrong. I think it's just the math. I think we're multiplying the offset, which we shouldn't, right? Yeah. Okay, yeah, I think here. No, we're not multiplying. Okay, no, I'm thinking it's wrong. Like this is not an offset. First, like I think I should call this an origin. Let's call. I mean, I guess it's technically the same. But I mean, it just went to the other side. Okay, let's set this to 0. And see if it's aligned. But it makes no again, in my mind, I don't understand why it should. Yeah, okay, it's not aligned, so that's my point. Like, we need to go to, definitely need to go to the left. It's, so again, like this is almost correct. I mean, I don't think I need a parenthesis here. I think this parenthesis is useless, but because like the operations go from left to right, that might be it. Yeah, I don't think it made any difference. So it was back to how it was before. So I think it's just a. I think like this is exactly the center of the card. So I also think we need to, like, we can just go all the way to the left. I think we need to add half of the width. Right, so let's remove this parenthesis. So do minus this plus width divided by 2 plus height divided by 2. Okay, I'm pretty sure this is gonna work. Okay, perfect. I mean, now the stats are a bit off. But my guess is we just didn't align that exactly in the center of the card. Okay, let's just do that real quick. So car 3D, so the stat. We just did that math, so like this is exactly in the center here. With 0.2 offset, like assuming we want the sets to go exactly, like align exactly down here. Let's say the width and height both 0.4. One row, 5 columns. What about... Ah, but this guy is not in the center, right? Like this. Again, if we're doing like this, the middle should be exactly here, 0 position. How can I do that? Maybe the mesh. Maybe again, mesh is not in the center, I guess. I mean, there is an offset here. We can just do the negative here, but I want to know if there's a way to center like properly. But like, I don't see here. Like this should be here, the position. Yeah, this should go 0, 0. And so the label 0, 0. Okay, this should take care of our stats as well. Then everything should be aligned. And I think that's basically it for the grid for now. And we can start trying to do the zoom. Probably should speed up this battle, like the fetching of the battle history as well. Yeah, anyway, now the stats are perfectly aligned. Now the camera is not really. So let's adjust this real quick. Let me move this to the monitor. Something like this. I mean, right now we need to make them, I think the grid just a little bit up, so it's not in the same height as the black arena. But for now, this should be. I'm happy. This is pretty decent. in the battlefield. Here there is the background, and then the grid, we just position this as 0. That should be enough. And now I have no idea how I'm gonna do the zoom. So let's start asking. I have a C sharp. I have a 3D game in Godot C sharp. I want to zoom. Let's zoom the camera. When I scroll the mouse wheel, but only when hovering over the mouse over a card. Because again, like the idea, because like here the center, the camera is very centered, right? So yes, I can zoom in. For example, if I want to zoom in on Brion here, I can. But if I want to zoom in on Nyx down here, I can't. So the idea, what I'm trying to do is like I want to hover my mouse over this card and zoom in like in that position, right? Like I want to lock the camera to that card. Like another option, we can also lift the card up. Let's say if I click the card could just like go to the center of the screen. But the reason I don't want to do that is because I think like the cards are gonna be moving, right? Like I want to reserve the movement for the combat. I don't want, we can copy. Sure, for example, I could click the card and then it would zoom here to the left, for example. That's fine, like as a copy. But I also, again, like just want to have like good zoom control. And so one of these is to, yeah, zoom to a particular mouse position. The other, I also want to rotate the camera. I think it might not be necessary, but I think we need to do it and like test it out and see for ourselves. And if it's valuable, we keep it. If not, we just throw that out. So okay, let's see what Claude gave us. So put an area 3D on the card. I guess that is like something with for the collision. A controller. Like, do I even need to? Why do I need this area 3D? Can it just do that with the mesh? Here the zoom. Can zoom. I'm not seeing any part of the code here where we would target the card, right? This set card hover. Okay, because I just asked, is like just if it's hovering over the card or not. Okay, recast. Okay, recast. I'm a bit more familiar. So the camera should look at the card. I don't know if it's the same name in Godot, like it is in Unity. Because in Unity, cameras have this like look at. And also, the card already has a mesh. Do I still need to add an area 3D to it? Check the mouse over. Or can I use the existing mesh? The thing is, like, even if technically it has a mesh, I think if you have stuff on top of it, so for example, the stats is on top of, let's say if I use the background as the hover detection. If I hover over the stat, I expect it to not get it because like the mouse is intersecting with this mesh and not the background. So adding like something specifically for the detection, and we can even make it, let's say, a bit bigger than we want to, let's say, to give the player, like, they don't need to be extremely precise, and we can control the layers, I think, better. I'm not sure. Let's say we said you can use the existing mesh detect. You don't need to add the F2D. If your card already has a mesh, here's how to do with the existing mesh in the look at functionality. But this static body 3D, what, like, this doesn't is a mesh an static body 3D? Okay, if you do like a static body in collision shape, I guess the area just drive the area first. Seems simpler. No, but actually, I think we do want to. I also want to for cards to behave like real objects, colliding with the floor and whatnot. What should I do? Rigid body 3D instead of static body. The thing, I don't know if I want to do. My plan is to control a lot more with twins. Okay, maybe before the zoom, let's try to do some movement, because I think that's gonna dictate maybe how we can well, get the card, like choose which card to move. Let's start here. So I have a Godot. I have a game in Godot C#. It's a card game. I want well, let's see, cards battle in a 9x9 grid. I wanna make cards attack each other and maybe flip when taking damage. It's a 3D card game. So now the question is how should I set my card structure to handle that? Be specific which node components I should use and where. Let's give this to Claude as well. Okay, here it seems to do both the collision shape and the area 3D to detect over for selecting the target. Mesh instance. Okay, show the rectangular mesh. I mean, I using the plane. So in a sense, to use animations, and yes, that's fine. But I'll ask about a twin. Because I don't know how you can do basic procedural animation. Let's say you want the card to jump from this position to that position. I think you just need to have a jump animation in place, and then you moving the card while the animation is playing. But the twin, it's at least from what I know, it's a lot easier to do that with code. It has a card script. If I, what about using twin instead of animations? What are the pros and cons? Both occur, but they're suited for a slightly different use case. So the twin, yeah, it's dynamic procedure. That's what was, at least for me, that was the biggest selling point. Yeah, because like every time, like you don't know where the card is gonna be attacking, they might be attacking the card in a different position. No setup, yeah, and also like just creating the animations and like linking everything. It was normally a bit annoying as well. Code driven, as I said as well, flexible timing. No timeline or editor view. I mean, sure, you can see the animation, but like you can just play. You can have a good idea, especially if you use like the math, the easing function. So think you can get used to it, and also you can just like play the game, see the animations going. You can probably even set up a test scene. So this is sure, like this is slightly annoying, but it's not the end of the. This is not a deal breaker by any means. Harder to reuse and polish consistent animation. Huh? I don't understand. Consistent animation across. How is that harder to reuse in many cards? Like you just call the same twin or the same function, whatever when you describe the thing. Like, I don't know. This makes no sense to me. Or many orchestration things like sound timing, particle effects, and the extra await or signals. Yeah, that's true. Like the with animation, you can put in, let's say, whatever, like something triggering the exact let's say, part of the animation, right? But because here in the cards, like the cards necessarily, like the cards don't punch or do something like that, so I don't think we need to time that like super precisely. Normally something happens when, let's say, the card reach its destination, right? So that is perfect. The twin can time that perfectly. I mean, this is not like you can just do a twin. Okay, let's go one by one. So visual timeline editor, like again, like yeah, we discussed that. Yeah, that's a pro normally, just so you can see exactly, but whatever. Reusable animation, like this makes no sense. Like you can just create a function with like an attack animation and call that. So this is equivalent. In fact, I'm pretty sure the twin it's even more convenient. If you want camera shake, sync sound effects. Yeah, again, we don't need that much of precision or polishing on each detail of the animation. It's most like movements, like flips, scaling. And I mean, we don't need to negate animations at all. For example, maybe we can do camera animations, for example. That would make sense. Yeah, it's more setup. Okay, so let's continue. We just do the twins. That's basically what I was using with 2D. I hope with the 3D is exactly the same with just one extra axis. But I don't think it will change the fact here that we would need a collision. I guess it's collision shape and array 3D. Let's get our second opinion here. Rigid body 3D, which is again completely different. This one was a collision shape 3D and array 3D. And here saying rigid body 3D. There's a mesh. Actually, I should ask what's the point of, what's the difference between using a quad mesh and a plane mesh? Okay, actually, man, like Claude is even doing like card back and everything. So another quad mesh. But then it does have a collision shape here. I don't know, okay, but he says here exclusive if, so only if you want a physics-based movement. But again, like if we're gonna do any stuff with twins, I don't think we need a rigid body. So we just have the... Like, do we even need collisions though? I don't... If we control everything with twins, maybe the collision is gonna screw with the twins. But then how do we that? And if we can detect just with the area 3D, maybe we don't need collision shape at all. Maybe I think we only need this area 3D. Okay, let's look now. What do we want to read? So area 3D. A region of 3D space that detects other collision object 3Ds entering or exiting it. So okay, maybe if we just have the area 3D, because we have, let's say, in an environmental effect like, what is it here? So let's say meteor shower. So we want these small meteors. How would we do that? We would have, let's say, like a sphere would go down. But again, I don't think we need to detect collisions because we know on the grid, we know that once this animation ends, the card, let's say, flips, right? So one way we can do is like we just detect the actual sphere to collide. But what if we want something like, for example, let's say we want a big meteor to land, not necessarily on the arena, let's say it lands on the side here. So let's say we don't even check the collision, but once it hits the floor, every card flips. So far, I'm not really seeing the benefit of a collision, like detecting collision at all, with the exception is with the mouse. And given that we have, so I guess we need to ask, let's say, if the card has a mesh already, okay, say the card has a background mesh and a model mesh on top of it. Will it detect a mouse over it if I try to check on the background mesh? So that's the first question. I think it's no. Okay, no background mesh on detector. Okay, so it makes sense. Even if we're not gonna use, even if nothing, no meteorite or whatever, it's gonna collide with the card. Just because we need the detection with the mouse, I think we need an area 3D. Fine. Another question. What's the difference between using a quad mesh versus a plane mesh. Oh, the quad can only scale with the transform. Okay, that's very annoying. Oh, complex UV mapping. I mean, I don't really care about the UV in this case. Perform can be. I mean, if I don't subdivide, I don't think the performance is gonna be a problem. In this case, when you need vertex density for effects. Okay, yeah, I can do card bending. That would be cool. More details slide across the card surface. I mean, from my understanding, the mesh is just better, but it might be more expensive. I think let's keep using mesh, and if it's a problem, if performance is an issue, we can just revert to quad and then adjust the scales and whatever. Now let's go back here. Reading so first is a region of 3D space by one or more collision 3D shapes polygon child. It detects when other collision object 3D. I mean, it's not mentioning the mouse here, but I'm assuming maybe the mouse behaves like the object 3D as well. Also body created with physics server 3D. I'm not gonna use physics server 3D. Using concave polygon shape inside collision shape child of this node. Okay, whatever. Okay, I mean that should be simple then. We just let's just add. Actually, let's commit. Okay, let me just add added songs in here. I guess then most of this was just a grid, right? So let's do fixed grid. So now all we want to do is add a area 3D here. What is it saying here? This node has no shape, so it cannot collide interact with other collision shape 3D as a child. Okay, I guess I have no option. Like that's why they say about like area 3D with a collision shape. Let me ask if I need that for the mouse. Do I need to add a collision shape 3D as child of area 3D 3D to detect mouse hover. Yes. Okay, so how does it work? This is so the Area 3D mouse. It has a mouse entered. Okay, that makes it extremely convenient. Let's just try to scale the card when we hover over the mouse. So let's do Area 3D. We want to add a collision. Shape 3D. Need to have a shape. Yes, it's a box shape. So size is this is gonna be 2.6, right? Oh no, I should just let's say we're just gonna do the background. No, I guess we can do all again, like just to give more room. So 3.6. And here we want to I mean, I don't know if we're gonna need more than one Area 3D. For now, I'll just use this as the unique name. So here we have a area a 3D. So area 3D. This here, area 3D, area 3D. And then we have this event here, right? Area 3D dot mouse entered. Though mouse entered. We want to do an exit 3. Want to unsubscribe the event. Now we're gonna put this one here. Void the mouse entered. So all we're gonna do is let's just try to do the model for now. Let's do model dot scale, have scale equals to okay, the 3D new vector 3D. Can I do vector 3D 1 this times 2, and we do the same on mouse exit. How do you call them? Exited? Mouse exited. Let's just again, like I don't even think I want to do this scale, but let's just see if it's working. And it would probably let's also print here just in case. So mouse entered. Okay, the scale is not working. Okay, there's a billion problems here. Did I not put the unique name? I did, area 3D. But it's named area 3D like this. Okay, no errors, but we get nothing as well, right? Um, what did I do wrong here? And even let's say if it was here on the side, right? Because like maybe I don't know if like there's the mesh covering it or something, but then on the side here, oh, okay, I guess when I get closer, when I have the yeah, so if I just place the mouse here, it doesn't work. If I scroll, then it triggers. I mean, but that's not how I expect to. Um, was entirely want to mouse. The mouse enter only works when I hover the mouse and scroll. Will fire. Godot is your R3D monitor on. Yeah, let's check. Yeah, let's check everything here. I mean, it's already say monitoring and monitorable. Alright, gravity disable linear dump, angular dump wind. What is the audio here? Collision layer 1. input. I don't know. Like, it's even mentioning the mouse here. I don't know why it's not picking up. Let's check the collision here. Maybe it's too thin, but again, like if it was too thin, like the scroll shouldn't work at all. I definitely think it's related to these like event types, right? Because like I think scroll is an actual click event where the mouse just entering. It's not. Let me ask here. So did you mention anything about the mouse in this conversation? My cards have a area 3D with a collision 3D, that collision shape 3D as child of area 3D on the area 3D dot mouse entered. It is only working when I hover the mouse over the card and scroll the wheel. If I just hover, it won't trigger. Yeah, via recasting, but like here, what is it? Repickable, right? Disable false. Yes, the area is big enough. Make sure the camera has mouse picking enable. Okay, let's check the camera then. Select your active camera 3D, ensure current on, ensure repickable is too important. Camera 3D call mask. I mean, so it's including the layer 1. Doppler disable projection. I don't know. It could also be my zoom script messing up with the mouse, like consuming the event. But let me check this ray casting first. I don't know, doesn't have anything related to that. Okay, I don't see anything obvious. Let's see this here. But this is only unhandled input, and it would never get inside here. Because like I'm not pressing, it's just putting the mouse on top of it. I don't know. Let's go Godot. Detect. Actually, open this so I can watch later. Godot detect mouse over object.
On or by the default materials. So, did you ever need to highlight some objects when your mouse gets over it in a Godot game? Because this is actually pretty easy to set up once you know the trick. Now, of course, if you're working with UI elements, this is really easy because they have readily available mouse insert and mouse edited signals that you can use to create those hover effects. But what about
that's what I used in the 2D
and 3D nodes? Well, suppose that you have a 3D scene like this one, with a bunch of 3D models, some lights, and a camera. Our goal here will be to catch our mouse movements so that whenever our pointer gets over one of the items in the scene, it gets highlighted by turning white.
I'm pretty sure, I think, because I'm subscribed to this girl here, she has a bunch of helpful tips. Okay, it's from 2 months ago. Yeah, I probably watched this, like I just like, okay, I know it's possible, but like I have no idea how to do it. I remember it's probably like quite complex. Let me...
It resets back to its original colors. The thing is that by default, 3D models can't catch those mouse events. When you import a 3D mesh file, it usually only contains basic 3D nodes or mesh instance nodes. To solve this, what we need to do is add an area 3D node to detect all mouse signals. So typically, we can do the following. First, we go to our scene hierarchy and click on the instance to click on its editable children option. This will allow us to access the exact mesh shape of the model in a few seconds. Second, we'll create a new node as a child or model instance of area 3D type. You'll notice that Godot shows us a little warning because, as always when creating physics bodies or area figures in Godot, we need to give this area the physical shape thanks to a collision shape child node. But here, instead of creating it manually, what we'll do is use our item's mesh shape itself. Basically, by selecting the mesh instance node that comes.
Okay, you're gonna create the mesh from... creating the shape from the mesh. I don't even, but I actually in my case I don't even think I want to do that, because again, like I want to have control. Oh, actually this time no, it was when I was scrolling anyway. I want to have the control to make the area bigger or smaller. Give it, I mean, I guess in her video she's just, because like a cookie or a muffin or whatever, that where the shape is not a basic shape. That makes sense.
Comes from our imported 3D model, we can go to the top of the viewport and use this little menu to also create a collider that matches this shape more precisely than using any primitive box or sphere. You can play around with those options to get a more or less accurate collider shape, though remember that more precise also means more taxing on the computer. In our case, since it's just about detecting the overall zone of the item, we can go for a simplified version. And so here we go. You see that our item now has a collider that roughly matches the shape of the mesh. Finally, we'll drag this auto-generated.
Okay, but I mean, good to know that it was that simple. Just say like, you give me the shape.
And if you select back the area and you go to its signals tab on the right, you'll see that this node type will indeed allow us to catch mouse entered and mouse edited signals based on this new collider shape. To actually handle those mouse events, let's attach a new script to an object. Note that I'm going to put the script on the root object, not on the area inside, because we'll also need easy access to its mesh, since we'll want to play with the materials on this mesh. Feel free to build the script as you wish. Here I'll go for object highlight, and inside we'll put this bit of code. The core idea of the script is that whenever a mouse enters
What is this bind? I guess it's just connecting the signal into the script. I've seen people do anyway. Okay, let's say we connect the
Enters the area 3D node for this object, we swap all the materials on its mesh instance child for a highlight material, and then when the mouse exits, we swap them back to the original materials. To make it adapt to more use cases, what I did here is that I exported the references to the mesh instance node to swap materials on, and to the area 3D node to get mouse signals from, so that they can be assigned in the inspector if you want, but I also made sure in the
I mean, this guy here is just getting the area. What is it getting the area? I guess here, area, mouse enter, and then you toggle this all this function and then swap the materials. Oh, I'm so dumb. Like, it's already showing here C sharp. I was looking, I thought like this was like it was two scripts. So let's check it here.
ready function that is run when the scene starts, but if they're not yet assigned, the script auto-fetches them from the current node of this object. Then, using those references, we can
Yeah, but all it's doing, just doing exactly what I'm doing, just calling the. But here, like this function is not even printing here, right? In my. Yeah, this print never happened.
start by filling an array to remember what are the normal base materials for this object mesh, so that we can restore its colors when the mouse exits. And we'll also connect the mouse entered and mouse edited signals of the area 3D node to the function that actually toggles our highlight on and off. By the way, these are materials I defined in the override slots of mesh instance using material resource assets from my project like this.
How come, like, when I checked yesterday for this surface material override, mine only shows 0 and there was no. I didn't see a way to add more, but here she has 2. Anyway.
So the highlight itself consists in replacing all the materials on the mesh instance, either by the highlight material if we're toggling the object on, or by the default materials we stored in our array if we're toggling it off. And well, that's it. If we give every highlightable object in our scene the same kind of hierarchy with an area 3D and an auto-generated collider, and then put the same scripts on them, then if we run the demo, you see that we can move our mouse across the screen, and it properly highlights the item currently being hovered by turning it white. Now in the case of 2D nodes, for example sprites 2Ds, we need to do sort of the same thing. Because again, those sprites can't handle mouse events on their own.
So like, I don't know, I'm doing everything correct. Like everything the AI said, everything that the video tutorial said, everything that the documentation is saying, but it's still not working. Maybe the area is too thin. But again, I don't know why it's getting when the. But anyway, let's do 0.5 here. Let's see if that's the problem. I don't know how when scrolling it would work though, but yeah, it doesn't matter. And when I scroll, it's gonna work. But the thing, and I'm trying, like when I just click the mouse, it doesn't work. But it, okay, the only thing we can try, let's keep it this size for now. But let's disable the zoom script. I think we can close the grid. I don't think we're gonna be using it for now. To 2090. Just delete this. No, same thing. And see, like there's no script even to zoom, but if I scroll the mouse, it's fine. I just hover, nothing happens. If I click, nothing happens. Right click. Well, maybe I have like my UI, the control or something is blocking mouse. So for example, I have a bunch of these panels here that they might be blocking, but with the scroll can get through it for some reason. Things, how can I check that? I will need to go to every panel and set the mouse as pass. Do you even need to do I want the mouse to go through the panels? Because even if they're not open, I mean, of course I want to go, if they're not open, they shouldn't be acting, but again, I don't think I'll need to handle that through code, right? Like when they're open, then I need to set the mouse to stop. Because the panels are still doing things in the background. I mean, one way to try, let me put the zoom script again. And see when we zoom if we can get the card at the edge there where the panels will not be basically around here. Let's see if that's gonna work. But I'm not sure because like there's a bunch of scripts that are too close when the mouse is outside. Man, what a mess. I'm pretty sure that's the case, but how can I confirm that? Oh, I didn't know this. So visible collision shapes. Debug visible collision shapes. If you're hidden, you have to control if the mouse filter such a stop press won't show up here. Huh? Okay, this is, I mean, let me check what it's talking about, but debug visible collision shapes. I mean, it's not gonna show shit because like everything is done procedurally during runtime, so not gonna work. I mean, actually, okay, I think I can just disable the whole UI here in the, let's say if I disable UI manager, I mean, this is not really disabling, I guess, though, but still the issue is just hiding it. There's no panel at all. Here, mouse. What is the mouse? Mouse is already on ignore here on the UI. Obviously, it's the menu. Yeah, okay, but like, I think, is that the debug? What is this orange thing here? I don't know what is this orange square around here. This makes no sense. But I mean, this is exactly the size of the panel. I don't think it's a coincidence. Let me try action bar. In. Okay, let's check here. So okay, yeah, so there's whatever I disabled worked. Let me enable here. Is that the game? Okay, there's something in the game here that it's blocking. Wait, why is the game a control? Maybe that's the problem. Like it should just be. Oh, hi, more. Yeah. Just mostly just fighting like stupid Godot things that I don't know. See, like just a bunch of debugging, but it's starting to like can do the bugged movement already. Um. Okay, let's look at the game here. So game. Like there is no reason that the game needs to. Why does it here? It only shows a node, but here it's set as a control. So let's just try to change the type here to node, and hopefully this is gonna work. But hey, what do you think like of the stream yesterday? Like anything that can be improved, like technically or in general? But that's why I wanna. I have this here. It's just my notes from kind of like what I thought about it yesterday. So I don't know, I had some songs here to the one you separated in those like 10. There's just one that I didn't like it, so I added another 9 songs. So there's also like more background music for the stream. Yeah, but a bunch of stuff that I think I added the link. I forgot. Maybe not. I don't know. But for me, the main problem was this one. That I'm trying to not take shortcuts, so to speak. And yeah, I'll try to call like whatever needs to be done. I'll just be doing. Yeah, I checked on Restream, and on this like the free version, apparently there is a 15-second delay on the messages, and I think that's a little bit of a potential issue because, well, sometimes like people, I saw, for example, yesterday, especially late at night, like there was like 1 or 2 people that said something, and then it took a while for like not only for me to get the message in, and then I would reply like there was the restream delay, and then it would take a while for me to also realize what's going on, and then they're gone. But yeah, I'm not sure. Actually, I can try. Let me try this right now. Because here, if I go to games on the block, I think this chat, if I go to the chat here, I think, oh, let me mute. Can I pop this off? Yeah, pop out chat. Okay, so I think this one is not gonna have the delay. So let me put this one over here. Maybe. And then I will need to get it from Twitch as well. But let me, I'll just do from YouTube for now and see if that's fast enough. And if that, like, I'll just pop up both chats from Twitch as well and then done. Like, I mean, it's not super scalable. Yeah, okay, test. Yeah, I already see your test. Yeah, it was. I don't know if it's 15 seconds, but yeah, like there's definitely like this YouTube chat here is definitely faster. Maybe a good minimum 5 seconds faster, minimum. If I close here, okay, the pop-up is still here, so that I don't know if it's still gonna be working, but I hope so. Can you type something? Just type one more message, please. Yeah, I mean, if you're typing, I'm not seeing anything, so I guess okay, I mean, I can just keep, I can keep it on. Typing, I'm not seeing anything, so I guess I don't want to consume more bandwidth by watching, but I mean, I'll keep it on here just to make sure that the chat is being updated. Anyway, is the game more, is the mouse working now? Yeah, okay. I can, well, I'm still seeing the area. What is the debug here? Disable. Man, let me just refresh this again. Okay, so now the mouse is working fine. We can start doing stuff. I mean, let's do the whole, let's scale the whole card. Let's see if there is any value in doing so. So here, instead of rescaling the model, let's just scale. I mean, definitely helped, but why does this, like, why doesn't go on top of the stat of the other card? I think we need to not only scale, we need to move the card up as well, right? Which might be a cool effect. Let's do, so then we do position. So y equals whatever, let's do 1. I don't know if do I have position? I don't know if I have extension methods for vector 3 with y. Well, let's just do so new position vector 3. Actually, let's just write this extension method already. How, what is it? I don't know, but we want to do that on the server, I guess, on the shared. Yeah, I guess we can do that. So let's create a new new branch from master. Is gonna be a battle 3D. No, but I don't want to do all. I want to do just master. Yeah, just vocal. Hey, let's try battle 3D. Now we're gonna come here to the shared extensions. Create a new class. Vector 3 extensions. Static. This is gonna be a public static. Vector 3. With y. Perfect. Actually, don't even need to do this. We just do new. Ah, okay, like I didn't even vector 3. Is that a record or something? Okay, actually never mind then. So let's delete this. I mean, it's fine. We will need this branch anyway eventually, so good that we created already. But here we can just do, so we do position equals position with y equals 1. I mean, it's not gonna, like, we need to save the original position, but again, for now, this is probably good enough. Oh shit, one is way too much. What? Why are they all going to the center? Yeah, I mean, actually, the one is good. It's just that they were going to the center. I mean, going to the center, like it. What I think it's happening, like this, it's setting the X and Z to 0, but it shouldn't. Because like this, the position is set with the grid. And then with this width, like it should not change the X. Actually, let's print print. Let's do enter position. Why they start with position 0 though? Is the grid not setting the position? Yeah, node position. Oh, hi Violet Shiny. Open source MMO sounds like quite a challenge. Yeah, it is. It's, But I mean, but it's already working. Like the hardest part is done. Just now, just trying to turn the battle from 2D to 3D. Are you a game dev as well, or do you like playing games? What's up? Mhm. I mean, I don't know. Why would the grid not set the position properly? I mean, it is setting the position. So the cards are definitely to the proper grid. Okay, yeah, I've been studying art for a while now. I'm trying to learn Godot. Yeah, man, Godot is pretty amazing. Like, I really like it. I used Unity before for I don't know how many years, but after I moved into Godot, I just love it. Like, it's so much simpler, lighter. And the main point here is because like this game is, the idea is to be open source, and then Godot is open source. Like, the actual engine is open source, so it felt like the best fit. The only thing that I still can't run the game on the web because like Godot still does not export C Sharp to the web. So that's my only complaint with Godot. Like, aside from that, everything is quite awesome. But I mean, it still takes some. You see, like I'm still struggling with basic stuff. Like, see, like position here. I don't know why is. Uh, but it's definitely like simpler than. Did you make any prototype yet? Do you have anything working? I see you have the Clippy profile. So that's also an interesting topic about like, yeah, that's how I really believe this, like in the digital ownership, and that's one of the points of this game is like, so everybody owns the game and it's open source. Like, they don't need to trust the companies to or to keep the game alive. Okay, yeah, I've tried Unity as well, but Godot instantly felt better, and I'm only using it. Yeah, agreed. Yeah, Godot I think is the way to go. Especially, because like Unity also had the fiasco with like changing the pricing model, but even if you disregard that, like just using the engine, it feels so much better. Like with Unity, everything is like basically need to fight the engine to do anything. I have only very simple projects, not even prototypes, just learning some functions and basic stuff. Yeah, if even the Godot here in the docs, like there is somewhere like if you just follow this. I mean, I even did this. Like that was the first thing I did. Just follow the 2D game tutorial. It definitely like it's very complete. Like it's very simple tutorial. Anyone can follow it, and you can definitely get the gist of it. To be honest, maybe now that I'm porting some parts of the game to 3D, maybe I should even maybe I should do this 3D tutorial, to be honest. Something to maybe I'll think about that.